document and create a documentary series all about my group health coaching program. And it's something that I just launched this week. I did a really soft launch of it and only invited kind of a few ladies. So I've got 6 ladies all together in this group. And we just had our first session this past week. So every Wednesday and Sunday, I go live where we can all be together and interact. And, you know, different times for different time zones, different schedules, you know, so everybody can meet. And after the first session, I realized what a unique container that I had created. And I really felt called to document the journey of this program, how it unfolds, more so for myself, but also to share with other people that follow me. And to see how the program changes and evolves, because, you know, be transparent here with y'all. When I first put together this program, I kept thinking like health coaching program, and like this thing ain't even got a name. Like I'm calling it group health coaching with Dr. Alex. I mean, I was like, I could have tried to come up with a cool name, but I said it's more about the content, right? It's more about the content. We don't care about the name right now. And so the content that I was thinking when I reached out to these women to invite them to the group, I was like, well, you know, we'll talk about food and nutrition, and we'll talk about intermittent fasting if that's what you want to do, and we'll talk about workouts and mindset and really anything else that you feel that will be beneficial for you to help you grow, to serve you in the best way possible, because I'm looking to really build this program to meet the needs of the women who join, right? That was my whole thing. And so I had this idea going in, and I was like, oh, you know, we're going to talk about health, and they're going to ask me questions about this and that, and it's going to be great. And it was great, but it was an entirely different experience than what I had went into. And again, I'm relaying this from my perspective of running this group and being in charge of this group, putting this group together, it being my program. From my point of view is how I'm going to be documenting this and the revelations that I have that go along with this. Because after the very first session, I was like, wow, this was really powerful. And I was like, I don't know if this next session, right, is going to be as good as this first one, because it was so interesting how the women that came together, they all complement each other in some sort of way. Like one woman is a missing part to another woman and is complementary to them and is helpful to them in some other way. And I didn't like plan for it to be that way. It just happened to come about and be that way. But you know, God works in mysterious ways, right? The universe. So that's how it ended up being. And I can't begin to even describe the transformations, the insight that started happening just in the very first session. And I think so many people, and let me preface this by saying, like, I'm not a therapist, this group is not therapy, right? But what it is a safe place, no judgment, right? That's one thing I pride myself on, is really creating very safe spaces, no judgment here, right, guys? Like, you come as you are, you say what you got to say, you are who you are. I'm not going to judge you. And so these women came to this space and they were just sharing parts of themselves, past issues that they've had, issues with relationships and their health, and then where they currently are and how they feel kind of stuck, and they're doing all the things and just it's not working out for them, and they're really looking to elevate or do things differently, treat their bodies differently, and then their future goals, what they see for themselves, where they want to be, and what help they need to get there. And it was so incredible to see these women just be so vulnerable and be so open and talking about this. And I'm thinking we're going to be talking about like workout times and weights and lifting and food and all of this other shit. And it ended up being such a powerful session where we all shared our past, our present, and our future. And one person in particular I really want to highlight. I'm not going to talk about all her business or, call her out, because again, this is like a safe space that I created for these women, that she shared in such a way, she had me emotional because with how real this chick is, and I know this girl, like she's come over to my house, I met her. She's an amazing nurse practitioner, she's a fellow healthcare worker, provider, she's amazing, and I know she wants to go further in her career and in what she does, and so I really value her addition to this group and the insight and the knowledge that she brings, right? And I'm really working on allowing her to be more comfortable and step into her expertise as a healthcare provider, as a woman who's had so many amazing lived experiences that she can bring to this group. And honey, the way that she shared during our first session, she started talking about her past and how she grew up and how she really had to step into the role of being a caregiver, a caretaker at a very young age, cooking and being, the caregiver to her brothers and sisters and family members at such a young age. And really she expressed, I really missed out on my entire childhood because I just had to grow up. I had to do it, so I did it. And how often do we as women, we just go and do it because we know it needs to get done, so we go do it. And we fill all the roles and we're doing all the things, and how we put ourselves on the back burner. And now she's at a point in her life where she has her children, she has her career, and now she's like, I've been to school, I've been doing all these things, I defied all of these odds. This girl defied all these odds, all these hardships, all these things that could have set her back. She defied all of them, and now she's here and she's wanting to make a difference in her life and in the lives of others through healthcare, being a nurse practitioner. And she shared so openly about her anger issues that she had in the past, and she talked about her past relationships. She talked about her husband, her current relationship, and she was just talking so freely and open about her own struggles, her own insecurities with her body and her image. And she was talking, and her husband was right next to her in the car for the first session. I forgot where he was at, but the second session he was right there, and she was just talking and talking so freely. And I was like, when she got done, I had to commend her, and she brought me to tears just about, because she expressed just so openly and vulnerably in front of her husband in such a way where I don't even know if I am at that place of comfortability to have spoken in a way that she did. And that was so powerful for her, and I wanted to acknowledge her in that moment, to use that as a stepping stone towards her other health issues that she has. And we know that emotional wellness is tied to physical wellness, to physical health. So many studies are out there on this, so much. And so much of health is just focused on numbers and data and drugs, medications, and a lot of these weight loss programs. Weight loss on its own is not wellness just on its own, right? Okay? There's so many other aspects to wellness, and that's why I take a holistic approach, because when I even look at myself, and again, this is where I was being insightful and reflecting, was I was looking back at myself, and this is what I shared with the ladies in the group too. So much of the beginning work that I had to do to start healing myself, to start taking care of myself, was insight. Was the I in spice. I, insight. And becoming self-aware and acknowledging things, having accountability. That was a huge part of my healing process, my awareness, my insightfulness. And she showed such insightfulness. And for all of the ladies in the group, the level of insight that they shared about themselves and that they discovered about themselves was pretty incredible. And the way that they're able to take this insight now, and the way I was able to reframe things, suggest things, put dots together, connect things for them, make suggestions for them, really kind of be in a consultative role for them, to show them small changes that they can make, or look at things a little differently, how to reframe things that can really take them to the next level. Because a lot of these little smaller things, it's what's been inhibiting them, it's what's been holding them back. And no amount of drugs, no amount of workout plans, no amount of meal plans is going to change any of that. And that's so much of what the traditional, or what the mainstream landscape, or the mainstream offerings when it comes to wellness programs or health coaching is just around that. It's like, just follow this plan, or just do this, or just do this. And there's so much deeper work that needs to be done. And even in our first module was about why, the deeper why. And the ladies really got into that, and they really shared that, because again, like I say, superficial whys are going to get you superficial results. And we want real long-lasting results. And this is the point to where all these ladies are at. They are ready for long-term results. They are ready for solutions. They're not ready for more apps and more programs and more PDFs and all this other shit. And I think that's what's so unique about the space that I've created, is that it's a place for women to learn about their bodies, to become empowered about their bodies, and to learn that they are all each unique and beautiful just the way you are, right? So unique, so beautiful. And so each one of us requires different things to support ourselves, different ways to nourish ourselves. We all have different requirements, right? Different plants in different climates, they require different things. We're no different. And so much of everything out here is just cookie cutter and one size fits all, or very generic. And let me tell you, talking about generic, I had this conversation with somebody. Like, oh my God, LinkedIn kills me when it comes to content around health and wellness, because I'm disrupting the shit out of it over there when it comes to health and wellness, because so much of these posts, they're so generic, they're so plastic, they're so fake, they're just all this regurgitated bullshit when it comes to health. Just shit that you can Google, talking about vegetables and fiber and protein, and like, people know this shit. People know this. You know what a vegetable is. People, we're smart. You all are smart. You know what vegetables are. You know what proteins are. You know what fats are. And these posts that just regurgitate the same bullshit nonsense. Get your 8 hours of sleep. Drink your water. Do this. Do that. They get thousands of likes and shares. And I'm not trying to hate on it. I'm not trying to hate on it. What I am doing is just calling out the bullshit that I see. That people are okay with that cookie cutter stuff, because they know that when you get to the real deep shit, when you get to the real deep layers of why long-term weight loss is a problem, why chronic illnesses are a problem, why generational cycles of illness are problems in families, in communities, why they're taking entire families out, why they're afflicting entire populations of people. People can't handle that. People can't handle the truth that you want to tell them. They want to hear what they want to hear, what they know, what they're comfortable with, what's safe to them. They don't want to hear the real stuff, the stuff that might trigger you. They don't want to hear that. But that's the stuff that will make all the difference to you in your success and in your health. Again, I'd rather trigger you, piss you off a little bit, make you think about something, keep it real with you, and have you do something that will cause you to re-examine your life, to do something to save your life, to do something a little different. Because so often, just one little switch can make all the difference for you. But it's, can you make that switch and be consistent with it? Can you keep it up for the long term? And mindset is such a huge part of weight loss, of wellness, right? It's not just physical, it's that emotional, it's that spiritual, right? And I'm getting into all the elements of spice, the spiritual, the physical, the insight, our careers. Many of these women spoke about where they're at in their life with their careers, and some even aren't even sure. They're coming to that point where they're like, I don't even know who I am anymore, or I've reached this point in my career and now I don't know who I am. I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I really like. I don't know what I really prefer, because I just been living up to somebody else's standards so far. I just been going and going and going, just trying to keep up, barely keeping up. And now that I'm here and I'm standing here, I don't even know who I am. And these are real issues that real women are facing. and that, again, traditional healthcare, traditional models of health coaching programs, traditional models of healthcare in general are not equipped, are not set up to support women in. And even going further into the workplace, there are no corporate wellness programs that are doing this in the way that I do it. And again, why it's such a unique space for these women. And I just, again, sit in awe of what these women shared, how openly, how vulnerable they were, how much these women took what I said to them and ran with it and went into action and went about changing their life already, implementing things. And that's what I love, working with women who take action, who implement. Because, for example, I had a woman reach out to me on LinkedIn today, and she was talking about how she struggles with nutrition. And so I simply asked her, I said, what about it? What about nutrition exactly are you struggling with? And define a struggle for me. Like, what does that mean to you? And so she wrote this long paragraph, and I just, skimmed it over, because I'm not about giving free coaching, right? I don't give free coaching. I used to do that, honey. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. And she, just this long paragraph, and I was like, Alex, I resist the urge to jump in and save a hoe, because that's where I was going. Not that I'm calling this lady a hoe, but you know the reference I'm getting at. I can't be that person. I was that person for a long time. I can't be that person no more. So I skimmed it, and I said, I knew in my heart exactly what this woman needed. And I said, let me just give her a little gentle nudge in the right direction. I ain't gonna give her all the goods, but let me give her a little bit of something to just to reframe this for her, because her response was so negative. It was so downhearted. It was downtrodden. It was just sad, this response. And I could see how much she was struggling, but it was all within up here. It had nothing to do with blood pressure. It had nothing to do with cholesterol. It had nothing to do with a diagnosis. It was all the battle that she was having with herself, with her thoughts. And so I had to reframe that and put that into perspective for her so she could understand that that's where the true beginning starts, is there. Because there's no amount of workout plans I can give you. There's no amount of meal plans I can give you, charts, diagrams, PDFs, trackers. That there's no amount of any of that I can give you that's going to make a difference to you if you remain with that type of mindset. And that's why I'm so glad where we started off this week so strongly in the way that we did, talking about the things that we did. And then towards the end of the session, we did get into vitamins and supplements and medications and some personal, and I told the ladies, I'll give you personalized recommendations based on what's going on with you. You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. And so some of the women did, they shared some health related things that they were going on, medications, supplements, diagnosis, all of that. And so I gave some, ideas around that and some suggestions that they could do, some changes that they could make. So, and one of the girls already was messaging me the next day, because I told her, I said, if you're going to the store, shoot me pictures of labels, shoot me pictures of items, and I'll get right back to you, and I'll let you know, is that good, is that not good, go for this, what to look for. And she sure did. The next day she was at the store, she shot me all these labels, she was on it. Every single thing that I suggested for her, she went and got it. And that's what I love. I love working with women who take action, who don't sit around and mope and whine and cry about shit. They get it done. They get it done, because in the end, you are the only one responsible for you. So these ladies are doing it, and I applaud them. I'm so proud of them. And I'm so excited for this next week, what is going to come up for these ladies, what we're going to talk about, how the sessions go. And so that's why I'm documenting this, because I want to document the process and go back and watch it for myself. And that's why I love video. That's why I even tell my clients to use video, because video is so powerful. Video is so powerful. Before and after pictures, that's kind of basic. I don't want you to be basic. We're not basic. We got to elevate. And video is such an amazing way to elevate your wellness experience, to show your befores and afters, to document your journey. You can make videos talking to yourself, talking about your struggles, talking about your wins, talking about your expectations, your hopes, pumping yourself up. There's so much that you can do with video. And I love brainstorming different ways to use video for my ladies. But this is just one thing, and I don't want to do, I'm doing so much like reflection, but also coaching and recommendations and all this stuff. So I'm going to leave it here because this is a long enough video, but I'm so excited for this. And again, this is like a soft launch for a group program, and I'm really excited to see how it changes and how it ends up. And it's only a 6-week program, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen by the end of the 6 weeks and how these ladies' lives are going to change, how their health is going to change. And if you're watching this and it sounds interesting to you, then I would highly recommend for you to reach out to me and let's talk and see if you being in a group program would be good for you and what things you're dealing with. And if it works out, I would love to have you join. I would love to continue this. It's been going well so far and I'm loving it. I love teaching in a group setting, and with it being live, it's even better. I get all that energy from the people watching and interacting, and it's amazing. And I love being able to highlight the ladies in my group because, again, we've got other healthcare providers and other professionals in the group. And honey, I love to allow other women to shine and to push them to the forefront, because we don't do that enough as women anyway, and there's so many people trying to hold you back. I'm like, let's push each other forward. Let's have each other shine, show each other off. And that's what I try to do in the group as well. So again, we've got other healthcare providers, other professionals, and I love pushing them a little bit outside their comfort zone. Be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you recommend for her? What do you think about that? And it's great. It's a great interaction. It's a great back and forth. It's a great place to expand. I love it. All right, I think that's enough for today. So like I always say, guys, for a balanced life just adds spice, I'll see you in the next video.